This is a message for the Calgary Police Services officers. I'm writing and calling to thank you for your efforts through this past 3 years, a very trying 3 years where you tried to be the thin blue line. You had ridiculous orders you had to follow. Some of you did. Many of you didn't. There was pushback and we appreciate it, but it's not enough. We all know, you know, they're starting again. The lockdowns were not only a disaster, they themselves were genocide. Forgetting that poison they forced you to take, or that you took a little bit of money for, thinking it would be no big deal. I'm sure you're not running to take any more. You need to remember your oath. You've only followed orders, paid limited lip service to your oath, but it's time. And Canada depends on you. Actually, I'm going to show you that you depend on you. We're at a crossroads, gentlemen. My name is Evdoxiades. At the Calgary Police Services, you would know me as Jason Evdoxiades. I declared my sovereignty. Our nation, the Tsimshian Nation, is sovereign. We are all children of God. Fraud vitiates everything. Ask any lawyer. We are in the middle of a fraud. It's fraud after fraud after fraud, gaslighting after gaslighting. And the first go around, you're a little forgiven. Everybody got duped, but not this time. Everybody wanted amnesty when we figured it out and the convoys got it out that this was all bullshit and we had to stop. But it was all premeditated, and it's being premeditated again. They're about to commit a crime. They're telling you they're going to commit a crime. The lockdowns did nothing to stop or stem the tide of COVID, supposed COVID. You guys have a responsibility to investigate. Even within your own courts, it was declared by a judge that they couldn't prove the existence of COVID. First, we had the tests. I called you guys here. I reported it. Where are the investigations? The tests themselves were fraudulent. The WHO, a year before we canceled ours, had declared the same. I know this because I was involved with the bankers who were trying to put the deals together, multi-billion-dollar deals for masks and gloves and anything to waste Canadian taxpayer dollars on this silly adventure all about control by the pencil neck dicks who are your bosses. Do you really want to go down with them? Is your job worth it? Guess what? You have your job. There's no replacement. It's time to stand up. Be the men you were meant to be. Not the glorified parking meters that they turned you into. How many crimes do you guys end up solving? Not too many. I think the stat is somewhere between 4 and 6%. And the Crown prosecutors, these demonic Marxists who let hardened criminals out that you run around to go and get, and then start incarcerating pastors like Art Pawlowski. How dare you put hands on him? You guys, the ones that went and followed these orders and started beating up on parents because they wanted to protest against this tranny, woke sexualization of our children. This is pure abuse, and it's in the criminal code. You have a right, a duty, an oath, an honor to do this. It's time to start to make these arrests. We've seen a few. We know you guys are with us. I've been out on the streets, freedom fighting, and the people are with us. I know you're with us. Now we have choices. These ghouls have destroyed the planet with these lockdowns. The masks didn't work. The tests didn't work. We see out of Sweden that they didn't lock down and they did a whole hell of a lot better, and they don't have the excess deaths that we have. You saw that there was no pandemic. You saw empty hospitals. They closed them on purpose. You even saw when the CBC put mannequins in a hospital to make it look like it was busy. But what you did see was a whole hell of a lot of increases in suicides, teen ideation of suicide, depression, domestic violence. You didn't see bodies in the street from this. The lockdowns killed, and you were the henchman. You were the brown shirts. You did this. You allowed it to happen. You did no investigating whatsoever, although you've been warned and warned and warned. You must remember your oath. And in fact, there's an international court duly sanctioned by all nations and under the UN that has in absentia convicted all these people of genocide. And under your oath, it is your duty to hunt them down and start making the arrests. And I'll tell you why it's urgent. You can't just, I won't follow this, I won't follow that. No, 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 no. First of all, I can tell you unequivocally that financially, that these ghouls put your pensions as the first loss in the markets. And guess what? It's about to crash, and it's about to fall on the pension that you all are sitting taking orders for, feeling miserable, knowing you're going against God's laws. You got to find Jesus here. It's time. And I'll tell you why it's time. We're coming to the end. What's it going to look like if the banks close? Do you think Normie Land is going to sit back and just say, oh, well, it's okay? They're mad. We were the freedom fighters. We were calm. We had your back. Even though you pushed some of us around and made some stupid arrests, we knew it wasn't the force, and it was just some idiots on your force. And not just idiots. I'm talking to you evil ones. The cultists, the club. You think you're untouchable? You know you're not. You used to be. How does it feel? I'd suggest to you that when we get to the end of this message and you see how close you are, that you turn yourselves in. Surely you've got families. Surely there was a soul somewhere before you sold yourself. God gives us till the end. We have till the end to repent. You could have been the biggest shit stain in the world, the most evil motherfucker, but God, with your repentance, will forgive you. And maybe some people will have some mercy on you, because I'll show you what's playing out right now. First of all, you are all familiar with the militia that's sitting outside. They're all highly trained ex-peers of yours, ex-military, people who signed an oath and are living by it, who have been practicing hitting quarters from 1,000 meters. You're aware of this. So that's our last line of defense. We are hoping and praying that this will be peaceful. The other thing that you need to note is that every time the people rose up, which it seems to be a requirement because the police won't do their jobs, the military sided with the people and took out the police. Listen to me. They took out the police. Since day one, I knew that it was going to be some form of gun that was going to come to our rescue. Was it going to be men on the street? Was it going to be the police? Or was it going to be our valiant military? In all cases, it's been the military, and it's not been good for the police. So we've got very few exits, and we've got a dark winter in front of us. And every day that passes that you guys don't talk about it internally and do what's right and go and take out these pencil necks, these suits and ties, these empty shells, these evil people, these cultists who are doing this to us. Do you want another shot? Are you going to say yes? Gentlemen, let's make an example to the world. You failed miserably the first time. Don't do it again. Show the world that there is still honor in the police forces. On the far left, if you want to call it that, I call them the crazed lunatics that cheered for absolutely everything that the TV said that turned out to be a blatant lie, is all that we've got left, and there's very few of them. We want to keep it safe for them. They've been enraged, they've been inflamed, they've been propagandized. This war has been brutal on them, and it is World War III. The sides are drawn. You're either working for the corporation and the globalists, and you're tearing your oath out and taking your chances, or you're coming with we the people. And I don't see any exits for you, except for this. It's time to start arresting your bosses. Look into the mayor. That was a fake election. I've not met a single person who voted for fluoride, yet that poison is about to be put in our drinking water. And these are all provable. I'm not making a statement that isn't backed, isn't fact. This week, all the groups are coming together next Wednesday on the 18th. You know about it. You must have children. We've all realized that there is no future without the children, and what you're doing is no longer going to be accepted. We're coming out in peace, and it's about time some of you started marching with us. Take your kids out of school, tell them what's what, tell them the truth, and come out and stand beside us. United we stand, divided we fall. Don't let them divide us. You know why you signed that oath. You know why you took that job, to serve and protect. And you haven't been doing it. And it's time. These are illegal orders meant to commit murder. Speaking of which, where are the investigations in the old age homes? The vast majority of people who died, although they locked us all in, healthy or otherwise, lied to us about transmission and safe and effective, and everything they could, they lied. They made it all up, and some of you dupes enforced it. You should be mad at them, not mad at us for standing up and pointing it out to you. It's for the children. Take your children out, take your grandchildren out, call into work sick, tell them you're not showing up, and come and march with us. And start talking amongst yourselves. You have CBs, you have radios. It's time to do what you know you need to do. And if you don't, I see no exits. I see a mob coming. The people who aren't marching are extremely angry, and they're the ones pushing for hangings and pushing for executions and pushing for everybody to be done away with because they've had enough. And they're about to wake up. Is it more lockdowns and trying to shut their businesses down? Is it the economy that collapses, which it's due to any second now? It's a mathematical certainty. Is it the militia, your own friends, your own colleagues, the ones that were right, the ones that served, that had honor, the ones you wish you could be, that are going to have to take you out? Or is it the mob? In Sri Lanka, that was not a fun day for the politicians and the police. Actually, in Kazakhstan, the police all turned their equipment in. 19 of them died, 2 beheadings. I don't see that coming here, but we've imported a lot of foreigners who haven't integrated into Canada, and they're just as pissed as everybody else. And you better believe they're not stupid, and they've seen this movie before. I don't envy your position, but I do, because you're the ones that can go from zeros to heroes. Everything you did would be forgotten. Any conversations about defund the police would be ended immediately, and you would walk around for the rest of your life with pats on your shoulder and thank yous for doing what needed to be done and keeping the peace. Not only that, you in Calgary have been the focus of international attention for the edicts and bylaws and crazy rules that have been put on by these crazed ideologue lunatics really trying to kill us. They do believe the world's overpopulated, and this is who you're listening to and who we're taking a cue from. They've seen how the police force to them looked compromised. We know you weren't. But if you show the world that you can in an orderly fashion, call your peers in and give them a chance to come in and surrender and confess, and maybe they'll get a fair trial. With the people, they will. If it's international and it's military, I don't see any choice but executions. That's their law. Our laws here in Canada, we're one of the few places in the world that does not have the death penalty, and there is no appetite for it. although it seems to be growing. There is one last chance for the criminals within you, the guys who were untouchable, who thought they had no choice, to now come in and surrender so they don't force their friends to do what they need to do. Men, start talking, get it done fast, and we hope to see you all there. It's a plurality. It's the Muslims, it's the Christians, it's the truckers, it's the farmers, it's the common man, it's all those people who never made it out, who are scared of you, that feel just as strongly as I do and can see with clear eyes now. I will pray on this. I'll pray for your souls. Ask God tonight, look at your children and say, is this who you want to be? Is this how it's going to go down? Let's make this a beautiful winter. Let's show the world. Let's get off this confusing page where everybody's confused and get to the healing that's there. Because there are cures for what they put in your bodies and what they put in all the other people's bodies. And we're only going to get them if we take these pencil necks and put them in the jail they belong in. From Nahadayaks Gishpachlats, peace, love, unity through God. Please plug in.